Welcome back, fans of the Fortean, to episode 12. Clophill is a village in Bedfordshire and a civil parish on the north bank of the River Flit. Recorded in the Domesday Book of 1086 as Clophill, with clop likely meaning tree stump in Old English. Sited half a mile from the village up a gravelly track, the Church of St Mary's was probably built around 1350, with later modifications undertaken in the 1500s and early 1800s. By 1848, however, the seating capacity of the church was insufficient. After plans to extend the building fell through, the decision was taken to build a new church in the village centre, the original building hence falling into total ruin by the end of the 1950s. The ruins of St Mary's Church have perhaps come to be known as the village's defining feature, and, given the tales of satanic ritual, grave desecration and shadowy spectral figures, it's easy to see why. People have long since reported seeing hooded, shadow-like figures in and around the ruins. In fact, that is exactly what Dean Johnson and friend Charlie Spaulding claimed to have caught on camera in 2016 whilst visiting the ruins. Dean stated he cannot explain the photo. Either someone was having a laugh or it was a supernatural being, he said. Perhaps the most famous story, indeed the reason for Clophill's infamy, actually takes us back to 1963. On the 16th of March, police were called after human bones were discovered, arranged in a circle on a makeshift stone altar, with the skull adorning a metal spike that was driven into the earth. Symbols had been scrawled onto the walls of the church, and a dead cockerel was also found, clearly having been used for a sacrifice. The bones had been taken from the grave of Jenny Humberston, who had died in 1770, aged 22. The perpetrators were never caught, however it was determined the incident was likely the result of a black magic ritual. Jenny's bones were later reinterred into her grave. However, there were a number of similar disturbances over the following years, with evidence suggesting ritual practice. Finally, in 1972, the church was declared redundant. The gravestones were removed and placed around the edge of the churchyard, and the ground was levelled off and infilled where necessary. With the national press having covered the story, the reputation of Clophill and St Mary's had changed forever, with vandalism and antisocial behaviour becoming more of an issue than anything supernatural. Now, as a bit of a side note and a personal observation, I've been to Clophill a few times, in particular back in 2007, 2008, just after I got my first car. I used to go on quite a lot of ghost hunts with my friends. I remember kind of walking up the track towards the church, tingling with anticipation, and it kind of loomed out of the darkness and the trees were squeaking together in the wind. It was really quite atmospheric. Upon getting into the churchyard, we went through, and I was shocked at just how much litter and vandalism there was. The walls were covered in tags and graffiti. There were like smashed glass and the remnants of campfires all over the floor. And I remember thinking at the time it just seemed like a bit of a kind of victim of its own fame, really, and it was just a shame. Over subsequent years, however, there has been a successful effort to clean up and protect the ruins. In 2010, the Clophill Heritage Trust was formed. This aimed to deliver a programme of restorative work and sustainable business opportunities to fund the upkeep of the site. Indeed, there are now eco-lodges available to hire on a parcel of land opposite the church, and the site is kept maintained and clean. In addition to this, in 2014 a viewing platform was constructed at the top of the tower, which can be accessed on ticketed opening days.